So video cut off on me. So round two. So this is the front for the Willwood stuff, where we were lightening the hub up. We lightened all that stuff up, did that. We what else do we do? We got our little catch can there that goes to our vacuum pump for the engine. We got a cut off relay for the, make sure we cut it off whenever we push the button in the back and all that fancy smancy, so it actually works. Currently it's got single adjustable, oh man, I can't even remember what the brand of those were. It's been so long since I've messed with them, but it's got that on it. It's got Moroso trick springs in it right now. Those will be coming out, and we will be putting the Viking coilover set on this with the I believe it's called a Berserker series. It's their middle series. It's not the triple adjustable. It is a double adjustable, kind of small tire, high horsepower valve tuning. So that's what we have up there. I'm not going to do much up here. And we also have going to take these control arms off, these upper control arms, and put the I don't know if you can see it back there in the back, but in the back on there, on all that crud there, instead of Global West hanging back there on the back that we're going to put on. Plus 3 casters, I believe is what they're called. Those things are really cool. Great piece, high quality. Oh, don't forget this. So anybody that's got a Mustang or any kind of car that has this shock tower arrangement. So when I first started messing with this thing, it took 3 people to move it. You had somebody steering and 2 people pushing. It just would not push. About a year ago, Ross and I decided we were going to do some stuff, and he came over and we actually did the Shelby drop to it, where the lower control arms get lowered 1 inch. Let me go over here so you can see where we drilled them and relocated them. So you can see there that they're 1 inch lower. They make a jig for it. You can get them anywhere. It's very common these days. I can roll my car now pretty much by myself. I don't have to have any help. I can push on the steering wheel and it'll roll. When I get to work on it and I start working on the front end again and I go to put the other control arms on it, I will put them in that upper hole just so you can see the difference that it makes in the tire, the way the tire angles. It is incredible. The other thing that this car has on it is the strut rods where they come up into the front, up underneath here. It's got the total control orbital adjuster or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got these guys on it. This right here, instead of having that, instead of having those rubber bushings and all that, it's got this spherical bushing bearing in there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, you can see it. It's got that spherical bearing up in there. And that's why the front end is so high. The front end on this car travels like you wouldn't believe because of that modification right there. So if you don't have those or something to that effect, I think Global West makes something and some other people make some other different stuff, but if you want your front end to really be smooth and raise up good so you get a lot of weight transfer, I highly recommend those. So Shelby drop, strut rod bushings in the front. You'll be happy because I know my front end looks like a dang 4-wheel drive right now. I mean, it's like really high right now, you know. But once we put the other Viking shocks on it and we'll put the coilovers on it, we'll lower it back down and put the motor back in. Also on the back, we're going to go 1 inch lower on it. Probably 2 inches. We got the springs are 1 inch, and we'll probably add a 1 inch lowering block in there as well. just to kind of help that. Let's see if I can. I put this on there years and years ago. That overdrive thing. I thought that was kind of cool. Ross and I were going to or planning. Unfortunately, he passed away recently. We were planning to put an AODE in it. So I've contacted his brother Kyle, and now Kyle and I are going to work to get that done. Let's see if we can, we can reach over there and see. It's got, you see that? It's got like, what does that say? 28 something, 29 something. I can't see it from over here. It's right at the bad limit of the bifocal. Anyway, Grandma didn't drive her much. I remember this dent right here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that pretty good. That dent right there. My dad was taking me to T-ball, and I told him I wanted to ride in this car, and he's like, all right. So we put our T-ball stuff in there, and we had an old, the actual T that you were hitting off of, and the corner of it was stuck up, and he didn't catch it, obviously. Got a little dent there now. It's another good memory. What's in this bad boy? Yeah, cool. All right, so there's the battery. It's up there, all happy. There's that battery tender. So that's how we did the fuel cell, or not fuel cell, but just the filler neck. It just has it on little holes and everything. It's got a deal. We got a vent right there coming back here, and then right there's your check valve for rollover and all that good stuff. That's your flaming river on off button. This over here was mounted in a fender well. That's all the turn signal motor and all that stuff, so to make the sequential tail lights work and all that stuff. So it's all original. And this little motor right here, there's a little, I can't get in there right now, but there's a little cool little deal. It's there, a little cam driven thing, little motor, 3 little separate deals that make all the turn signals work. So I'll have to get in there and clean that up and get him working again, because I'm sure it's bound up. I think that's about it back here. Got a little fuel pump relay, all that fancy smancy stuff you're supposed to have. It's got the little backing plate since we got the battery in the back. And obviously that's the console. That's a mid plate, so we'll put a mid plate in it just to try to take a little bit of the load off those motor mounts. You don't want to rip those out of the block. That would be bad. So when my grandmother had it, they actually put a air conditioning unit back here. That's what those holes go to right there that we got plugged up. They had a big unit that sat back here, and it worked okay. It wasn't anything special. It had 2 vents. They came out the back and kind of went right there, and it just blew air, cold air in there for you. It was okay. That's all you could say about it. As a kid, I just rolled the windows down because I didn't care. Cool enough as it is. Upstairs, I've got the Marty report for it. That's a pretty cool little piece of information explaining everything that was done. But that's it. So, other things we did. So it's got obviously you can see it's got that master cylinder on it. It's got a line lock on it, and then we took the wires and ran them through the fender panel over there. So we have no wires anymore up underneath here. So it's all cleaned off. I started sanding on stuff just to see how hard it was going to be, and to get it back. I hadn't decided if I'm going to strip it all down and paint it all back red, or just go back to be black. Probably just go black. Make it easy. So can't see anything when you're trying to hide stuff if it's black, right? So that's it. If you have any questions or comments, just let me know and we will go through it all. But that's the car. This is what I got. That's how I got it. That's where it came from. That's the history of it. And she's a pretty cool little car. Yeah, we built those two. Ross and I did. Instead of having that rubber grommet up there, it's just got a metal stainless pin in between them. So it's kind of cool. Moves freely. Of course, those Moroso trick springs you can't push down. I don't care what you do. I mean, even with the motor and everything in here, it's still crazy. It's still crazy high, so we'll get there. All right, guys, thanks for looking. Y'all have a blessed day.